Well, here comes the Disco Machine coming off a very impressive run in the Be the Star tournament, huh, Todd?
Yeah, his chances in that tournament were certainly sparkling, much like that disco ball. Finally came to an end. Well, look out. Got tripped up on the dance floor there by Angelo Trinidad.
Well, it happens to the best of us.
Well, especially you. I doubt you have much rhythm.
Actually, I just kind of avoid the dance floor. That's usually the best strategy.
Somewhat of a wallflower, are you? Well.
And his opponent, from to England, weighing in at 16 stones, Timothy Thatcher.
I'll tell you what a contrast in demeanors we have here. You got Disco Machine on one hand, always out for a good time, always ready to party, always fun-loving. Timothy Thatcher looks like he's absolutely miserable. He is all business. Look at that scowl on his face.
Timothy Thatcher seems to me the kind of guy who would snub his nose at a wrestler like Disco Machine, at the antics, at the behavior, at the outgoing personality.
Well, it seems as if the Redcoats are coming. Thatcher making his debut here.
Look at the trapezius development on Timothy Thatcher.
Those traps almost coming out of his ears. Thatcher trained in that hard-hitting British style. Expect a lot of striking, submission attempts. Certainly has the size and strength advantage, it would seem, over Disco Machine. But Disco Machine, you can never count him out. He's a wily veteran.
Now both men lock up here. Thatcher immediately grabs the arm bar by Thatcher. And again, that submission, that mat wrestling style we talked about, be really interesting to see here. Timothy Thatcher in his debut here on NWA Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. And well, those are the antics we talked about from Disco Machine.
Disco Machine, so unorthodox. When it comes to the game of chain wrestling, counter wrestling, when it comes to that dance, he is going to lead 9 times out of 10. And look at him here, the go behind rear waist lock. Whoa, watch out. Little gyrating, it's all in the hips.
And I don't think Timothy Thatcher, that was what he signed up for when he signed on for this matchup.
Thatcher really getting taken out of his game here. Has him hooked now, but still shaking and a moving is the Disco Machine.
And look at that cravat by Timothy Thatcher, but Disco Machine reversed into a drop toe hold. And, you know, you talked about it, Todd. You can't discount the mat wrestling ability of the Disco Machine. Now going for that reverse Indian deathlock.
Yeah, look at that now. Back with the bridge. Nicely done. Just putting a lot of extra torque on that leg lock, but breaks the hold. Not so sure that was a good idea. But now going right back to the arm. And if you're Disco Machine, do you continue to try and counter wrestle here with Thatcher, or do you try maybe to go high risk, try and speed up the pace of this matchup?
Well, you know, Thatcher's an unknown here on NWA Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. We have never seen him in action. We just know, you know, of course, our little bits of information about him. And a Disco Machine, with his background, I understand why he'd stick with the mat wrestling. I mean, that is where he excels.
But really, oh, look at that. Nice counter there by Disco Machine. Reversing the position.
Besides, on the mat, he can play all these mind games.
Yes, he certainly can. I don't think Thatcher wants to get horizontal with the Disco Machine here in the center of the ring.
You can't get many pelvic gyrations when you're flying through the air.
Disco knows a whole lot of dances, and the horizontal mambo is one of them, apparently.
And now Disco Machine, look at that reversal of the armbar there. Goes behind him.
Yeah, so fluid there with that wrestling and improving his position. Rolls through, only a count of 2, but too much leg strength there by Thatcher. And look at that, drops him down with the arm breaker.
Well, that is where going to the mat will cause Disco Machine the problems, just because he does give up that size and strength to Thatcher. I mean, we can see that looking at both men. You know, there's no question about this issue.
And the confidence now beginning to grow for Thatcher. He's got Disco Machine for the moment right where he wants him.
Ooh! Big European uppercut in the corner by Thatcher, leveling Disco Machine, and you got to think,
Thatcher runs right into the boots. Don't know if he's going to be eating too many crumpets after that. Look at this. Into the tornado DDT. Cover that man. Yes. Into the cover. Hook of the leg. Is that going to do it? No. Too much strength left in Thatcher.
Disco Machine looking to fly one more time. Signaling to the crowd. What are we going to see here from the Disco Machine?
Well, like I talked about, might be time to go. Nice reversal, though, by Thatcher. Beautifully done. Hey, that's the Thatcher stretch. That crossface. Really, and he taps. The veteran taps.
Here is your winner, Timothy Thatcher.
Oh, we had heard about the Thatcher stretch. Once he hooked it on Disco Machine, you could see just the angle of the neck, the torque, and the strength. You talk about the upper body strength that we pointed out earlier. In that move, it is on display and used to its best advantage. Disco Machine had nothing but to do but walk away to live another day.
Thatcher now mocking the Disco Machine. Brimming with confidence is Thatcher. Impressive victory. And another person that is cocky and confident, Hollywood's own Joey Ryan. And I'm told he's standing by on the back with his thoughts on his big matchup coming up next week with Colt Cabana, Scrap Iron Adam Pearce, the special guest referee. And